This is not the life that I want to live. And I hate it.
If I don't make a change now, I'm scared it's going to be too late.
You need to decide if you want to live or die right now. You're not going to be alive much longer if you keep doing this.
Kelly Mason, a North Carolina native whose battle with obesity was as courageous as it was heart-rending. Kelly's life at 725 pounds was a daily struggle against several health issues, including high blood pressure, heart problems, type 2 diabetes, blood clots, and arthritis. Standing for more than 3 to 4 minutes was an ordeal due to her immense weight. Living alone, her only regular check-ins were with her caring father. So, let's see how her story unfolds.
Because my life is a nightmare. And I feel trapped in his body. And every day is painful. Every day is a bad day. And walking is extremely difficult. Every step is torture. I can only stand at 3 to 5 minutes because it's like you feel the weight.
For Kelly, food was more than just sustenance. It was her solace and escape from the harsh realities of life. The opening scenes of her episode painted a distressing picture. Kelly struggling to leave her house to get some food, only to find her car wouldn't start. Trapped by her food addiction and now physically unable to satisfy it, the situation escalated into a crisis right at her doorstep. But what led to her gaining so much weight in the first place?
I walked up the stairs, I walked down the stairs, I struggled, and now the car is not working. I'm not upset that the car won't start, just upset that I can't get food. When I haven't eaten in a while, I get stressed out, anxious, because I can't seem to control my food addiction. I just need to eat something. Try to calm me down.
Kelly's weight issues can be traced back to her childhood, a time marked by instability and tragedy. Raised initially by her grandparents while her mother traveled for work and her father lived with another family, Kelly's world was shattered at the age of 5 when her grandfather died of a heart attack right in front of her. From that moment, living with her mother, their diet primarily consisted of fast food, laying the foundation for her lifelong struggle with weight.
My mom, she traveled and she wasn't really around. And my dad, had another family. I would say I had a great childhood at that point. But when I was 5, my grandfather died in front of me. He had a heart attack. So when my grandfather died, everything just started going wrong. My grandmother moved into a senior citizens building where you couldn't have a kid living with you. So I saw her less and less, and I felt abandoned.
In a bid to turn her life around, Kelly took a significant step by traveling to Houston to meet Dr. Now, the renowned bariatric surgeon whose expertise has been a last hope for many. Traveling was no small feat for Kelly. She faced the humiliation of needing 2 wheelchairs at the airport, a testament to the severe physical and emotional challenges she endured.
Now that I'm here, I'm just feeling really overwhelmed, and this is really embarrassing. Because I'm in 2 wheelchairs, my legs wouldn't fit on the one wheelchair I was on. So I feel like everybody's staring at me, but I'm just really in pain.
During her first checkup, Kelly weighed in at over 725 pounds, with a BMI of 117, shocking even Dr. Now, who noted it as the highest he had ever seen. He prescribed a strict 1,200-calorie diet, emphasizing the necessity to lose at least 100 pounds per month. The stakes were high, and the question loomed, could Kelly overcome her deep-seated food addiction to meet these goals?
When you're up to 726 pounds and you have a BMI of 117. That's almost breaking the record for the highest I have seen yet. So I can tell you right now that you're likely already in very critical condition with all that strain on your body. And that's a situation that we have to turn around immediately.
Kelly's journey became one of the most inspiring stories on the show. She not only met, but exceeded expectations by losing over 200 pounds, thus qualifying for weight loss surgery. Her commitment didn't waver post-surgery, and she continued to shed weight, reaching a milestone of 401 pounds. However, despite her incredible progress and dedication, Kelly's health complications continued to loom large.
Okay, you're at 401. That's fantastic. 2 pounds from the 300. So you effectively lost over 320 pounds at this point.
Great.
That's good progress for you.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly, I'm proud of your progress, okay? All right, can you tell your ability to walk and how better it is?
Yes and no.
Well, if you start working and doing more exercise, you're going to get better stamina.
Tragically, Kelly Mason passed away in her sleep due to a heart attack in February 2019, 10 months into her transformative journey. She was only 41 years old. Her death underscores the brutal reality of the long-term effects of severe obesity and the immense strain it puts on the body, even amidst significant weight loss. Her bravery and hard-fought battle continue to resonate, highlighting both the potential for change and the severe challenges that come with battling lifelong obesity.
What time did that happen?
At the time, nobody was there, so we don't know exactly what the time of death was, but it seems like it was a natural cause of a heart condition.
I just received a call from a medical examiner to inform me that late last night, it appears Kelly's heart gave out.
James L.B. Bonner faced unimaginable struggles but found brief solace through Dr. Now's life-changing program. James hailed from South Carolina and was adopted as a newborn into a family that had always wanted a son. As the only boy among 3 sisters, he quickly became the apple of everyone's eye. Spoiled with attention and treats, James developed a love for food that soon spiraled out of control. It's every kid's dream to have unlimited candy and cakes, right? But sometimes, too much of a good thing can lead to disaster.
I was the one that was going to continue the Bonner name. So it was like everyone was raising me, including my aunt. So I spent a lot of time with my Uncle Sam and my Aunt Dora. I called them Ma too and Dad too. I was always excited to go stay with my aunt and uncle because every time I'd get down there, the first thing she'd do was go open up the cabinets and say, "What you want?" It was always beef sticks or pig in a blankets or snack cakes. I guess that's when I started associating that.
By the age of 12, James was already tipping the scales at over 200 pounds. During his high school years, he shined as a sophomore football star, clinching the title of Offensive Player of the Year. It was a remarkable feat that made his family and friends proud. However, this glory was short-lived as his weight continued to climb, reaching a staggering 400 pounds by the time he was 17. With his health declining rapidly, James was forced to give up the sport he loved, marking a tragic pivot in his life. But just when you think it couldn't get worse, fate dealt James another cruel hand.
I feel like the only proud times my dad ever had was during football games.
LB was a good player. And when he was a sophomore in high school, he won Offensive Player of the Year. So that's a big achievement for somebody being a sophomore. And I was proud of him.
But that couldn't last because I started to get so big it affected my health. I was 17 and over 400 pounds at that point. So I quit football.
On a seemingly fun Mother's Day while out riding four-wheelers with friends, tragedy struck. James was involved in a severe accident that badly injured his foot. The injury was so grave that amputation became his only viable option. This drastic change made mobility a massive challenge for James, especially with his weight issues and a new prosthetic leg to adapt to. Can you imagine dealing with such a dramatic life change?
One of my best friends, he wanted to go ride four-wheelers that weekend. I knew it wasn't a good idea at my weight, but I wanted to have some fun. The last trail we were on is where I ended up getting into my accident, shattering a bunch of stuff in my foot. And after a failed surgery attempt, I ended up with a bone infection. And it left me with only a few options, and the option we went with was amputation.
Determined to turn his life around, James sought help from the renowned Dr. Nowzaradan. Through sheer determination and Dr. Now's strict program, James managed to shed an incredible 3 of 16 pounds. Post-surgery, he dazzled everyone by slimming down to 326 pounds and kept pushing forward, often sharing his progress and newfound optimism on social media. But James was fighting a much darker battle beneath the surface of these positive posts.
You're actually closer to the 700s today if we factor in what your leg would weigh. So if you keep going like this, you'll be in the 800s soon. and you won't last much longer after that.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So how did you end up at this point?
I got a bad habit of binge eating, binge drinking, eating real late at night.
In August 2018, James hinted at his struggles in a heartfelt social media post, revealing his decision to face my demons head on. Tragically, just days after this declaration, police discovered James at his home in Lexington, South Carolina, dead from a self-inflicted wound at just 30 years old. This devastating moment underscored the hidden battles James faced, battles that were perhaps overlooked by those around him.
I stumbled on your profile, and I just wanted to say that, you know, I know you've heard a lot about me, and I'm I've made a lot of mistakes, but I'm still your dad, and I went off. I was like, actually, you're not my dad. I want nothing to do with you. You know, you're a horrible excuse for a human being.
What did he get arrested for?
Drug possession.
There's one thing I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that you never got hooked on drugs.
Following his tragic death, James's family took action against Megalomedia, the production company behind My 600LB Life. They accused the company of failing to provide necessary mental health support and ignoring critical warning signs about James's mental state. James's story is a stark reminder of the need for comprehensive care in reality TV shows that delve into such intense personal transformations. His life, filled with high points shadowed by deep valleys, continues to resonate, urging us to consider the real price of reality TV fame and the importance of mental health support. What do you think could have been done differently to support James?
This morning, I surprised my dad by telling him that I wanted to go with him to work and give him a hand. It was really important to me that I spend some time with him on this trip, and I wanted to at least do this with him to show him how much more I can do.
I'm proud of LB, and all I want for my son is to be healthy and happy and live a long life. And I'm really glad to see that happening. I like his progress. To me, he's done it a little quicker than we thought he would do it. Usually that takes a little time to lose the weight and get in better shape, and he's done it quick.
Lisa Fleming's journey is marked by personal tragedy and a fight against overwhelming odds. Lisa's story is not just a chronicle of weight loss, it's a narrative about confronting the past and striving for a healthier future. So, how did Lisa end up on Dr. Now's doorstep? Let's find out.
My 2 daughters and 5 grandkids live with me, and I rely on my family for help. I feel a lot of guilt about how much my family have to take care of me, and it is so humiliating for my daughter to have to bathe me.
As a child, Lisa found comfort in food during tube times, especially after her parents' divorce. It was her solace, but also, tragically, a form of punishment. One particularly harsh memory involved her mother forcing her to eat an entire cake after she took just a small taste. But that wasn't all. The murder of her brother plunged her deeper into emotional turmoil, eventually leading her to tip the scales at 704 pounds when she appeared on the series. It's hard to imagine how these events shaped Lisa's life, isn't it?
I remember this one time I asked for some cake. She wouldn't give it to me. I didn't understand. So I just took my finger and just rubbed all the icing off the cake. And my mama called me and she said, I know ain't nobody done this but you. And she sat me down and said I had to eat the whole cake. But after about an hour, my dad came in and he threw it in the trash can. My dad always saved me. And then when I was 9 years old, my parents divorced, and that was a hard time in my life. The only thing that made me feel better was eating.
When Lisa joined Dr. Now's program, she was immobile and trapped in the very bed where her mother had died from obesity-related issues. A grim reminder of her fears and the fate she was determined to avoid. The turning point came in a horrifying and humiliating moment when she discovered maggots in the folds of her skin. This shocking discovery propelled her to undergo weight loss surgery on the show. Can you believe the courage it took for her to make that decision?
Lisa seems to be in a lot of pain and is clearly not happy about her situation. We need to see what's going on with her.
Oh, don't grab my leg, please. Oh.
2,
We either have a serious situation.
Ow! I'm
Okay,
sorry.
you made it. Or she's overly dramatic. But we are going to start by being optimistic with her.
Transporting Lisa for surgery was a massive undertaking, literally. It required the combined efforts of 7 paramedics to move her from her bed to an ambulance. Despite her initial determination, Lisa struggled to adhere to the stringent requirements of Dr. Now's weight loss program. After 6 months of battling her demons and her body's resistance to change, she was unfortunately dropped from the program. But what happened after the cameras stopped rolling?
You are not willing to lose any weight. You're not willing to change your pattern.
I just don't have no willpower anymore.
Okay.
It's gone.
right.
It's gone. And if that's all this is, I'd rather you just send me back to my house and leave me alone, because this is not helping me. It's not helping me.
What kind of help you need?
I'm trying, but this is not helping me.
Tragically, Lisa Fleming's life came to an untimely end in August 2018 when she suffered a heart attack at the age of 50. Her death was announced by her daughter Danielle on Facebook, stating that Lisa passed away in her Texas home. While the immediate cause of her death wasn't clear, Danielle shared some heartening news. Lisa had managed to lose 200 pounds and was finally eligible for the surgery she had fought so hard for. However, as Danielle poignantly told TMZ, her body was tired and her body just gave out.
I'm gonna get the surgery I came here for. Dr. Now is done with me.
So what are your plans going forward?
Well, I had just planned on just giving up, Danielle.
Why?
I'm just not getting nothing accomplished. And I feel like you're the only one of my children who even care enough about me.
You can't expect nobody else to be a cheerleader for you. You have to be your own cheerleader sometimes.
Coliessa McMillion's life was a battle, not just against her weight, but also the emotional scars left by family trauma and a tumultuous relationship. By the age of 39, her lifelong struggle with obesity, culminating in a weight of 643 pounds, had led to a severe heart attack. This critical health crisis marked a turning point, signaling the urgent need for medical intervention. Can you imagine facing such an overwhelming challenge?
I never would have thought I would have ended up here in my life. Where I'm so big, my sister has to help me out of bed and help me go to the bathroom in a bucket. It's just humiliating. And I hate that I've done this to myself and let things get this bad. But I have no choice.
When Dr. Now Zaradan met Coliessa, he saw the dire state of her health and decided immediate surgery was necessary. Unfortunately, her heart condition posed a significant risk. She was too heavy for heart surgery, and doctors felt helpless as her heart became a ticking time bomb. Before she could undergo weight loss surgery, Coliessa's fiancé Melvin tragically died in a car accident, plunging her into deeper grief and emotional eating. Most of her days were spent confined to her bed, struggling with loss and health complications. Isn't it heartbreaking how one tragedy can lead to another?
If you don't change your behavior, you're not going to be succeeding for long term.
Okay.
Okay? You think you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with your heart history, having a heart attack, you're not going to be a good candidate for weight loss surgery unless you lose a lot of weight, and make sure the surgery is going to be safe. So between this point and the point that you're going to be safe to have surgery, I want you to lose 100 pounds. And I want you to do that over the next 2 months.
Despite these overwhelming odds, Coliessa began to make slow but meaningful progress under Dr. Now's care. She managed to lose 150 pounds, a significant achievement, yet not sufficient to qualify for the corrective surgery she desperately needed. However, Dr. Now proceeded with the surgery due to concerns about a potentially life-threatening intestinal blockage. But what happened after this critical decision?
I'm very concerned about Coliessa right now because it is a very real possibility. Her health is about to start deteriorating rapidly and get to a point here soon that we won't be able to bring her back from, especially with the poor condition of her heart. But my biggest concern right now is the possibility that she may have some sort of intestinal blockage that may require surgery to address to prevent it from becoming life-threatening for her.
Post-surgery, Koleasa faced severe complications. Her niece later shared that Koleasa experienced issues such as a popped suture, which led to sepsis and, ultimately, a medically induced coma. The situation was grim, and Koleasa's life hung in the balance as she was put on life support. Imagine the emotional roller coaster for her family during this time.
And the hope is that this operation will help keep her going in the right direction long enough to get her to start taking more responsibility for her situation to do what she needs. Because what this operation does is that it removes 80 to 90% of the stomach, leaving a small narrow tube that looks similar to a sleeve. This limits the amount of food that the patient can eat at one time, and also changes the patient's metabolism so they feel less hungry.
Sadly, Koleasa's fight ended on September 22, 2020. After briefly recovering and returning home, she was readmitted to the hospital and passed away at the age of 41. Her niece's revelations about the complications and Koleasa's subsequent death underscore the harsh realities faced by patients dealing with severe obesity and its complications. Koleasa McMillion's story, filled with both determination and despair, leaves us reflecting on the importance of addressing obesity before it becomes a matter of life and death.
You know, like I'm excited. I've waited a long time for this chance to find a dress.
Ladies, I found a 28. Would that work?
You found a 28?
Oh, it's navy blue.
Thank you.
But first I have to see if I can fit. I'm a little upset because I still have a long way to go.